Om Shanti and welcome to all of Inner Space viewers and listeners. It's amazing and extraordinary times that we're passing through right now, that even though there is a virus around, yet because of technology, the facilities, we are still able to at least communicate with one another. And even this facility is a blessing, that we're at home and able to learn something in the time that we have received. And so today's topic, I'm sure you all know, is the power to cooperate. And isn't that exactly what we are all doing right now? We are cooperating with the government. We are cooperating with the NHS. And why are we doing this cooperation? Because it's in our own interest. It's for ourselves that we're doing it, for our own protection. And so we might think we're cooperating with others, but actually we also gain out of it. And today, this topic, the power of cooperation, is actually the last of the series of powers. We've done 8 powers, and within these 8 powers, I'd like to go through these powers with you. And I want you to understand which powers are for what purpose. The first 2 powers that were done, the power to withdraw and the power to pack up. These are the first 2 powers that are necessary. The power to withdraw is necessary, and it's called going inwards. It doesn't mean I withdraw from society. I'm not withdrawing from any single person. I am with people. I am with society. We're all in the same boat in the situation that we're in now. Every country is in the same boat. And so not one person can say it's not fair. Rich, poor, we're all in the same boat. But this power to withdraw means I withdraw from negativity. I withdraw from my 5 senses. Because what am I going to do once I've withdrawn, once I've gone inwards, then I am able to start the journey of meditation. Withdrawing is not the journey. It's the preparation for the journey. And I will explain it to you as if you're getting into a car. When you need to go somewhere, you'll take your keys, your coat, whatever preparation, money. That is the preparation. It's not the journey. But the preparation is as equally as important as the journey. And so, you go in the car. Means you go here, within the being, behind these eyes, in the center of the forehead, there is a beautiful, tiny light, point of light. And that point of light is called the being, the soul. And that point of light is the one that makes this body function. Without that light, there wouldn't be any life in this particular body. And so light and life go together. I am a peaceful soul being. I am also a point of light. And I am also consciousness. Why these three sentences separately, and why all of these three sentences are necessary in meditation? Because when I say I'm a peaceful soul, I'm actually describing the original nature of the soul. So it's very important that I know my original natural nature. Then I am light. That reminds me of my form, what I look like. So it's even necessary to have that thought in meditation, that I am tiny, tiny, tiny point of light. And then the third sentence that's also very important is I am consciousness. Peace describes my nature. Light describes what I look like. But consciousness tells me that within that light there is life. And it's not a light which has an on-off switch like other lights do. It's not a candle light that you can blow away or light. No, it's an eternal, peaceful consciousness. And it's very necessary to know these three sentences if I want to attain success in my meditation. Just saying I'm a peaceful soul is not sufficient. I need the cooperation of many thoughts. So, first power that was discussed, the power to withdraw. When I meditate, I don't need the cooperation of my senses. During meditation, my 5 senses should actually mentally switch off. Means my eyes should remain open. My ears are anyway open, there's no question of closing them. But what is happening is I don't need them. All I need when I meditate is to be careful about the quality and the speed of my thoughts. So I've provided 3 thoughts, and you play with those 3 thoughts. You work, not play, but you work with those 3 thoughts. That I am peaceful, I am light, and I am pure consciousness. After the power to withdraw, you would have heard about the power to pack up. And we're now beginning a journey. So when you go on a journey by flight, then obviously you need to pack. Doesn't matter how light a traveler you are, you need to pack. So there's 2 questions here, 2 things that need to be packed. One is I pack what it is that I'm going to take with me. And the other is I need to wind down, or I need to put away, I need to tidy up, or I need to get rid of what I'm not going to take on the journey. I've done the inwards, the power to withdraw. I've sat inside the car, or I've sat inside the plane. Now it's also essential that I close the door. Before you put on your seatbelt, you will actually close the door. And so in the same way, I am closing, or I am switching off, or I am shutting out the world. What's happening out there? Who's doing what? Who said what to whom? It doesn't matter. Because I am now I'm going on a journey. I will enjoy the journey. I will also enjoy the destination. And so, the power to pack up means I am limited in what I'm allowed to take. And so, on this journey of meditation, I'm actually allowed very, very little. And if I have excess baggage, if I have excess thoughts, they will pull me down. They will not let me move forward. And how do I know that I have excess thoughts? When you have baggage and you go to the airport and they weigh it, then they'll say you have too much, you have to pay. When I have excessive thoughts, overthinking, I also have to pay. The payment is not money. The payment is pain, sorrow, suffering. This is what is the outcome of excessive thoughts. You yourself suffer because of having too many thoughts. And so, what kind of thought do I need in this power to pack up? I need thoughts that will make me very, very light. I'm on a journey. And I have to reach a destination. Enjoy the purpose of what I have come to this destination for. Make sure that purpose is fulfilled. And so, I've had the first three thoughts. Now, the thought that needs to arise, or that will help me, is I am a child of the Supreme. I am a guest in this physical world. I am the master of this physical body, but I am also the master of my thoughts. And so meditation means you will see a reduction in the number of thoughts, plus there'll also be a reduction in the speed of thoughts. And so it's in this, the power to pack up, that I am able to reach my destination. I am able to reach that supreme energy and take as much spiritual power as I need. And for that you will see your thoughts will almost come to a stop. It'll be so difficult to create a thought because you're just absorbing, you're just soaking up power from that supreme energy that you have reached. You're just absorbing. There's nothing else. Peace, purity, power. There's no differentiation between what's coming your way. It's just power. It's just power in different forms. Light, purity, happiness, love. It's all coming towards you. Now, for many reasons, I cannot stay up there. I cannot be with the Supreme, with the Eternal Parent, for 24 hours, 7 days a week. So, I have responsibilities that I need to fulfill. I have what we say in today's world, things to do, people to meet, places to go to. And so I have to come back down to this physical world. Now, if I've done the inward and the upward correctly, means if I've used these two powers, the power to withdraw and the power to pack up, these two powers are only for the purpose of meditation. They are not for the purpose of using in relationships. I will not use the power to withdraw in relationships. I will not use the power to pack up in relationships. However, the next 6 powers that you did, including today's one, the power to cooperate. So those next 6 powers are what we need in relationships. So then comes the power in relationships. I need the power to tolerate. I need the power to adjust. I need the power to make decisions. So this power to make decisions, there's 2 types of decisions we're making. One is I am deciding between right and wrong, good and bad, reality and illusion, truth and falsehood. Means I am deciding between opposites. I have to make a decision. Should I lie or not tell a lie? So your conscience will help you decide. That's if I listen to my conscience. So then that's one type of decision, when the decision is between 2 opposites. Then there's the more other type of decision where it's not between 2 opposites. It's between 2 similar things. And these decisions are tougher to make. For example, if I've been given entrance to Leicester University and London University, De Montfort University and the City of London. So these universities equally good. Everything is very similar. But I have to make a decision. Supposing I have a job interview. Should I wear black or should I wear dark blue? Or should I wear something brighter? Again, I have to make a decision. For dinner, should I have pizza or pasta? I have to make a decision. It's not that one is better than the other. It's not that black is better than dark blue. It's not that London University and Leicester University, there's a difference. Everything is similar. But I still have to make a decision. So do you see the difference in the decision-making process? One is 2 opposites and the other is 2 similarities. And so here I need power. Then the next power, the power to face situations. Not only face situations. The power to face doesn't mean confrontation. The power to face means I have to show my face. The power to face means there are certain situations in life that I cannot avoid. So what's the difference between the power to tolerate and the power to face? When it comes to tolerating, then I have to tolerate somebody's anger. Means their words. But if somebody physically hits me, then that's not something I need to tolerate. If somebody hits me, physically abuses me, or somebody's abusing somebody else, then you can call the police. If somebody's getting angry with you and you call the police cannot do anything. But if they hit you, then they can do something. This is the law. This is the way of the world. And so the power to face means I face the situation. I don't sit back and just tolerate. So I should know what to tolerate, when to tolerate, and where it is I have to face. And where it is that it's necessary to show my face. A funeral, a death in the family, show your face. A party, a wedding, a birthday, show your face. But also to be able to show your face with the correct emotions. At a funeral, or if there's a death in the family, then I won't be smiling and laughing and happy and joking. I'll be quiet and somber. I'll give my feelings of peace and love for the soul that departed. We say we want to pay our respects. And then after the power to face, the last power, which we're going to talk more about this evening, is called the power to cooperate. Now, what is it that stops us from being able to cooperate? And what comes up is ego plus selfish. If someone is selfish, they want the praise for themselves, they want the acknowledgement, the credit for themselves, then they don't want others as part of the picture. And it's very interesting that recently, I think within this week, there's been a prime example, a beautiful example of cooperation. Some of you might have followed this Captain Tom, 99-year-old, who's been doing these walks in his backyard with his Zimmer frame. And he's managed to generate money, which he's giving to the NHS. This is a beautiful example of cooperation. How? People cooperated in giving. That was their cooperation. How come a 99-year-old person was able to amass or accumulate so much money? What did he do? And when I watch this, then it's so very obvious that he's not doing it for himself. There's no selfishness involved. And because there's no selfishness involved, there's no self-interest, he's able to get the cooperation of the whole country. And even you'll see him being praised, he's being on TV, he's getting a medal, etc. But very humble person. He's doing it for the NHS. And so you will see that this is cooperation. Cooperation happens when there's no selfish interest. When it's not for me, but it's for the good of whatever and whoever. There is benefit to many in cooperation. And so, cooperation, when we think about it, there's one quote which comes to mind immediately. And that quote you would have already heard. The quote is, "Many hands make light work." When I have these powers in my life, then it's easy to give cooperation. Tolerating doesn't feel like painful. It's fine. If I have to tolerate, whether it's tolerating people or tolerating pain, whatever it is, tolerating the weather, then because I have power from the first two things that I've done, the withdrawing and the packing up, I've accumulated, I've gained power from up above. So what is happening is I don't feel like I'm giving from myself. I have a resource. I am not going to run dry. I'm not going to say, well, enough is enough. It's no longer fair. I can't handle it anymore. No. There's a supplier. I have a connection, a direct connection with that wholesaler, that supreme powerhouse. And because of I have direct access. I have the ability to go to the Supreme whenever I want to. Then I'm not going to run out of power. Because yes, we've spoken about these powers over the past 8 weeks. But there's always a fear that I will run out of power, or I've already run out of all these powers. But that technique that I taught you, the inward and the upward, will help me in my outward. The inward being the power to withdraw, the upward means the power to pack up, and then all the rest are the outward. This formula is very, very helpful. Now, I'd actually like to introduce you to this word cooperation. And the word cooperation in Hindi is Sahayog. And this word Sahayog has the word yog in it. So, what is Sahayog, or what is cooperation? Those who are listening will already know, they will understand that yoga means connection, union, that joining or that coming together. So in Sahayog, it's not that you're coming, it's a coming together of minds, a coming together of personalities, a coming together of different energies. We're all on the same wavelength. And even if we're not, it's not written anywhere that you have to have the same thought as the other people, but you're able to adjust your thoughts. You're able to create that flow. That, okay, I'm not with you in this in terms of thinking, I'm not liking this idea, but for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the situation, to avoid conflict, I will sacrifice, or I will put my thoughts to one side and join forces with all of you. This is cooperation. You know, ever since this lockdown has happened, then one thing that's been taught again and again and again is washing hands. That wash your hands. And it's so funny that even to wash your hands, you need the cooperation of each hand. You can't wash the hand by itself. One hand washes the other, and the other hand washes the other. This is cooperation. And something that's also being taught at the beginning of this lockdown. So instead of shaking hands like this, bring your hands together like this. So shaking hands is also a sign of harmony, of cooperation. But putting your hands together like this in the pose or the position of what is called namaste. I don't know how many of you have heard this word, namaste. This is the Indian greeting, putting two hands together. And I think even Japanese and the Far East use it. But namaste has a very beautiful meaning. And what namaste is saying is actually cooperation. Namaste is saying the divinity in me bows to the divinity in you. Because when we do namaste, when we put our hands, then slightly we'll put our head down also. And coming together of both hands, even to wash hands, each hand needs the support of the other hand. Even when we say namaste, two hands come together. So what are we saying at that time is that within each of us there is divinity. Believe it or not, whether you can see it or not, it doesn't matter. I haven't given myself time to unearth that divinity that's there. There's a lot of rubbish or baggage which is accumulated, hurt, and he did this, and this one said this. All of this has accumulated on top of my divinity. And meditation means removing these layers that I've accumulated, removing them and disposing them. I don't need to analyze them. Why did this happen? Why did they say this to me? Why do bad things happen to me? Why did this situation happen? This person was nasty to me. I never did anything to them. All of that is layers and layers of, you could say, rust or dust, and both need removing. When I am able to remove these layers, then I will come to my innermost core. And the core is the divinity, the qualities that I have, the peace, the love, the happiness, the purity, the power, the wisdom. When I have these, I hope you remember them, peace, love, happiness, purity, power, wisdom. I mentioned 6. So then these 6 add up. They create a very beautiful bouquet is one thing, but they also create a result. And that result is bliss. There's a difference between happiness and bliss. Happiness is something which is based on my 5 senses. Bliss is beyond the senses. Means when we meditate, like I said earlier, the senses are not involved. But when we meditate, we want to experience bliss. So bliss is when I add these 6 qualities together, the result is bliss. If any one of these 6 are missing, then I cannot experience bliss. For example, if love is missing, I cannot experience bliss. But bliss is something in which the senses are not involved. So bliss is when I connect with the Supreme, the senses are not involved. And so, cooperation is something you will see in all levels of society. Whether it's at the office, it's called teamwork. Whether it's one organization working with another, it's called collaboration. Like I'm from Leicester, so naturally I'll give examples of Leicester. Since the past couple of years, we've been doing this program. This festival is being celebrated, and it's called Holi Festival. And so what is happening? Many organizations are coming together. They are collaborating. Normally they wouldn't. They'd consider each organization to be a competitor. But for the sake of this festival, for the sake of this program, then they are coming together and they're enjoying it. And they're realizing, actually, we've all got the same values. We've all got the same aim. We're just using different words. And so this is also cooperation, given the name collaboration. In our workplace, there's teamwork. And you will see that when children are little, what kind of stories do we tell them? We tell them stories about how cooperating helps. I remember one story we were told as children, and it's a story that some of you might be familiar with, some of you might not be. I'll mention the story anyway. So one king, he decides to host a dinner, and he invites devils and deities to his dinner. And so both the devils and the deities are excited and looking forward to this dinner that he's hosting. He's called them for dinner. And the devils always say, oh, that guy, that king always has some trick up his sleeve. He's always, favoring the deities. So the devils are like, they're always a bit cautious of this king because they feel they're not favored. And so the king this time says to the devils, you can eat first. You can all sit together and eat first. And the devils are very happy because they always feel that the deities get the chance first and that they just have to have the leftovers. And so this time the king has said, you can eat first, but he's applied a condition. And that condition is you can't bend your elbow. Your hands have to be straight throughout the dinner. You cannot bend at all. This is a story we're told in childhood. Many know this story. And so the devils are not happy. They're trying, how can we eat the food? We can get the food, but we can't bend our elbow, so how do we get it to our mouth? And the king has got a stick attached to their arm so that they can't bend their arm. Now, they struggle for a long time. They struggle that they want to eat, but they can't eat. After a few hours, they give up. And now it's the turn of the deities to come and eat. They've also got a stick tied to their arm so they can't bend their arm. They can't do like this and make the food go to their mouth. But the deities, very clever. What do? They take the food and they put it in the mouth of each other. They feed each other, so they don't have to bend their elbow at all. And they are very happy after the dinner. They feel very full and very satisfied. And so it was the same situation for both groups, the deities and the devils. But the devils didn't have the thought that let us feed each other. There wasn't that thought at all. There was the thought, I want. Greed was there. They were not able to cooperate. I remember when we heard this story as children, we found it very funny that the devils went hungry and the deities had everything. Simply because they cooperated with each other. And so this is life actually. Sometimes we think grab, forget about others, that I will get more, I will be able to hoard, and I'm better off. But actually, it's been seen many times that sharing is more beneficial. When I share or when I cooperate with whatever it is, resources, energy, whatever it is, when I share, then the blessings that I get from sharing actually help me to become emotionally stronger. I'll give you an example. Within our organization, we have to buy fruits and veg, etc. Each center, each branch has to look after itself. And so the question that came up once was, well, should we buy organic or should we just keep on buying what we're buying? And most of you know that organic is actually more expensive than the general produce. And so we asked the head of the organization, who passed away last month at the age of 104. This is going back 15 odd years. So we asked her that, nowadays people talk about organic, it's healthier, and it's much more, there's a lot of benefits in it, but it's more expensive as well. So we said that, what should we do? Because we're a charity, we're dependent on what others give to the centers. She gave a very interesting answer. She didn't say that yes, buy organic or don't buy organic. What she said was that if you have an apple and you share that apple with others, you cut it and you share it with others, the blessings that you get from that, the sharing that's happening, that gives you power. Interesting word. That sharing gives power. And that will help you grow spiritually. It will help you grow more than, it's more beneficial than, she said, the organic. With the organic, you'll always have a question mark that, is it really organic? But when you share something, whatever it is you have, then there's no question mark in that. Everybody gets some. And so cooperation means bringing people together. Cooperation means connecting with others. The yoga word in Sahyog, union, connection, this is what it means. Coming together. Because otherwise it's so easy. You look after yourself, I look after myself. You do your thing, I do my thing. And there is danger of that in society these days. You look after yourself, you're just responsible for yourself, and I'm responsible for myself. There isn't that coming together. So cooperation doesn't mean there's a task and we have to do it. It means just being together, coming together, living with each other. You have your ideas, and your ideas are valid. Your ideas are useful. Your ideas are yours. They're good. There is no good or bad. Your ideas are good, so-and-so's ideas are good, so-and-so's ideas are also good. Each one is entitled to an opinion. But do whatever your ideas say, but still look at each other with love. Still look at each other with respect. That is cooperation. Because it's so easy. I've got different ideas, I'm going to do my own thing, you do your own thing, you do your own thing. And what happens is the glue is no longer there. You'll see within families, everyone is doing their own thing, but there's something that binds the family together. Be it the mother or be it just the love that binds us together. That is necessary. Otherwise we become individuals doing our own thing and never coming together. We become like, I'm an island, you're an island, you're an island. Independent. I want to be independent is the words we hear. I want to do things my own way. I want to do things on my own. And when I say I want to do things on my own, then what I'm creating is rivals. But if we work together, then what will happen? There won't be competition. But like I said earlier, it's collaboration. And collaboration is so necessary in today's world. Because we've all come to this understanding that there is only one earth, and this is our earth, and if we don't take care of it, it won't remain for our future generations. And so how to bring about this collaboration, this coming together? See, even our fingers cooperate with each other. And so when there's the feeling of, two feelings are necessary. One is that each other matters. There's a feeling that they matter. It makes a difference. Yes, you make a difference. Small or old, young or old, doesn't matter. We matter. Everyone matters. And the other feeling is the feeling of belonging. These two feelings will elect, or you'll get cooperation from others through that. That you belong. Wanting or needing to belong is very much necessary, because if there's not the feeling of belonging, then you will see that is the reason, or one of the reasons for depression. I don't feel like I belong. I don't think I matter. And so we become sad. We become heavy. That I don't have anyone to call my own. I don't have anyone who calls me theirs. And so it brings a fragmentation in society. So to be able to bring people together, and one is to bring them together, but also to make them feel as if they belong and matter, then cooperation will happen. And so there's a group of people that have to make others cooperate. For example, you will see that police negotiators, when there's a situation of a hostage, then the job of the police negotiator is to make the person who's holding whoever or whatever hostage, to make them cooperate. And so what kind of language, what kind of words would they have to use to make that person cooperate? And so this is also a job, even though it's called they're police negotiators, but that is their aim, to make others cooperate. Even within a divorce, that's one type of conflict, but the other type of conflict is a divorce situation. That you have to make the other party, the other person, cooperate with you. Either you cooperate with them or they cooperate with you. Otherwise, relationships actually, if there's no cooperation in a relationship, relationships become very tough, very difficult. And so, what is stopping that cooperation is we don't realize, but our body language and words can sometimes intimidate the other person. And if the other person feels intimidated, Will they feel like cooperating? Are employees cooperating, or they're just doing their job and getting paid for it? They're doing it whether there's fear, that if I don't, I'll lose my job, the boss will have a go at me. But the other is when cooperation, there's no fear. There's no fear of, if I express my views, that I'll be told to shut up. No. Cooperating means you can express your views. Not necessarily the views are taken on board, but expressing also is necessary. And so for cooperation to happen, I actually need to see the specialities of the group. If there's a group that's come together, or even family, I need to know each one's specialities. And when I know each one's specialities, point out one person's specialities to another. Show others what you're seeing. If you're seeing goodness, talk about it. And what will happen is others will also see, or they will strive. They will want to see that goodness. That how come you're seeing it and I am not seeing it? And so to make the group work together, we have to tell others about each other's specialities. We have to note what somebody's good at. That you're good at this, okay, you do this and you do this. So there are many stories in life that teach us cooperation. And if I have ego that I can do it myself, or if I have this feeling that, oh, I can do it myself, I don't need anybody, then what happens is we forget that there is actually a higher power who can do whatever he wants like that. If the supreme, the higher power, wants to get something done, he will get it done. If I put my ego in the way and I say, oh, I can do it, I'm the only one that can do it, I will do it. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, that's good. Your ego is useful for you. Please carry on. But blessings, coming together, happiness, enthusiasm, everybody giving their little finger of support, and you're able to do a massive task, a huge task, simply by everyone's cooperation or support. For that to happen, for everyone to come together and to work in harmony, then what is necessary is faith in others. Not to doubt their ability, not to have questions of can they do it, can they not do it. No. Our enthusiasm will get everyone to do it. And everyone is not the same anyway. Even on our hand, our fingers are not the same. But together they can have that power. This, when we do fist like this, it represents power. And so this is why cooperation is called a power. All the fingers have come together and they've become a power. And so faith in others, that yes, everybody can do it. But the other thing is that's necessary is that I should be able to communicate my motives. If I'm able to communicate my motives clearly to others, then I will get cooperation. Like, for example, the story that I mentioned at the beginning, Captain Tom, I think his name is. He communicated his motives. Very simple. It wasn't a big speech or anything. He just said it's for the NHS. He communicated why he's doing this. And that's why he got so much cooperation. If he hadn't have communicated, if he hadn't have said what is his reason for doing these 100 laps or whatever it was with his Zimmer frame, he wouldn't have got that cooperation. So he had faith in himself. He had the support of his family. His motive was very, very clear. And so Sahyog means to come together. And then when we come together and as a whole, not I, one person, the whole, but I means we. It's no longer I, it's we, the group, we, the family, we, the community, we, the society, we, the world. When we come together and we're able to do such a huge task that it might feel like a mountain, might feel like huge, but we're doing it now. It's happening. Lockdown is what? It's everyone's cooperation. Cooperation that we want to have a safe and a society in which we are protecting not just ourselves, but each other. And so it's so interesting that today's topic, the power of cooperation, and it's exactly what we're doing today. Since the last 3 weeks and for the next 3 weeks, we will be cooperating so that society becomes safe for us all. And so I hope you understand from all the examples the power of cooperation. And I will say Om Shanti here. And next week there's a special treat. Special treat is on next Tuesday. We will have Mike George. And his topic is also very interesting. The topic is the wisdom of undevelopment. And so that is next Tuesday, 28th, I think. I hope you'll be able to join us for that. And I hope you're able to continue cooperating with the government, with the NHS, with anybody and everybody. To cooperate means to gain blessings, to gain power. And so, with that, I'll say Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Minute meditation commentary. Om Shanti. I am a pure and peaceful soul. I, the being, I reside in the center of the forehead, behind these eyes. I, the master, the sovereign. I am the sovereign of this physical body. And I am also the master of my thoughts. I choose my thoughts. My every thought cooperates with the next thought. I am peaceful. I am light. I am consciousness. When these three thoughts come together, then I am able to execute the journey of going upwards easily. I am peace. I am light. I am consciousness. I am a child of the Supreme. I, in front of the Supreme, the light, the powerhouse, I am like a sponge absorbing God's energy. His vibrations are coming my way. I can feel it directed to me. I, the soul, in front of the Supreme. Nothing else. I am God's child. That's all I know. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.